I mean, it's kind of amazing. Like it lets you know something.
Tucker Carlson reveals to his followers that Christians are being spat upon and persecuted in Israel. Come on. If October 7th never happened, no one would know. You spent $30 trillion on a colony that hates you. So when they say 30 trillion, they're counting all the wars that we got involved at the behest of Israel. Not only the money we gave them, because we give them billions of dollars every year, and we don't have the stuff that they have in Israel, like, universal health care. We don't have paid parental leave, stuff like that. But the 30 trillion, it's like, so the Libyan war, the bombing of Yemen, the bombing of Iran, the Syria war, all the stuff, the Iraq wars, both of them, the Somalia. So lots of stuff at the behest of Israel. So I think that's where they get that $30 trillion. But let's listen to what Tucker says.
And in Jerusalem, if you follow this at all on the internet, you see video clip after video clip of Christian clergy being spit at by religious extremists, not Muslim religious extremists, but Jewish religious extremists. And that's something most Americans didn't know happened, didn't think could happen, particularly since the United States, the most important Christian country in the world, is funding this. And anyone who's raised this question, this show has done that, has been dismissed out of hand as a liar or an anti-Semite or, best of all, a secret jihadi, a secret Muslim. You must be a Muslim. And so we thought it'd be worth coming here to find out what the truth is, or at least getting closer to the truth being pretty elusive usually in political terms, but why not go ahead and talk to people? Why not go ahead and talk to Christians and find out their side of the story? Why aren't Christian churches doing this? Why aren't American Christian leaders like Mike Huckabee or Ted Cruz, people who invoke the Christian Bible to justify what they're doing, why haven't they done this? We can only guess, but they haven't. They have funded the other side.
Huh. Well, in Israel, they don't refer to it as spitting on Christians. They refer to it as a Zionist baptism. Am I right? Come on. You want if you think we're kidding, here it comes. There they are. They just spit out the Christians. You see them spitting, right? You see them spitting?
They're walking past the church.
So that's a Christian getting spit on. It's like a Christian bishop getting spit on. There they are spitting on the Christians. There they are spitting on the Christians.
Yo. Yo.
I told you. They attacked.
Yo, in the face, those crazy.
Oh, wow. That's quite a welcoming committee. This is Israelis spend their morning spitting and harassing Christian tourists, saying, we don't like your God. Let's watch. Boy, they really don't like the Christians over there. It's like a version of Men in Black. Christian leader appeals for an end of the destruction of churches and the indigenous Christian presence in Gaza and occupied West Bank. Wow.
So how do all these evangelical
I mean, well, at least they're finally admitting that there are churches in Gaza. At least they're admitting that finally.
ministers, how are they able to, like,
Hey, get the truth
in
one day
their
at a time.
minds, continue their support of this Zionist nation? Like, how do they do that?
Because
I'll
I'm
tell
gonna
you
guess
how.
they're being paid off,
No, I'll
right?
tell you.
You don't look at all the money they were jamming into TPUSA, the Zionists. Look at all the I mean, come
Set.
on.
Let me tell you.
You.
So what they ended up doing was they took the Bible and they started pushing out through all the major churches that basically the Jews were God's chosen people, and it is the sole duty of the United States to protect Israel.
Yeah, that's the
And that's,
evangelist.
and that's
Are we-
actually not the case. And it says explicitly in Deuteronomy that if the Jews ever killed God's son, which is Jesus Christ, that he would destroy their temple, strip the kingdom away from them, and scatter them among the nations, and they would find no rest. So what did they do when Jesus Christ healed Lazarus and went to the Last Supper? They killed him by an illegal trial, mind you. Then, furthermore, they tried to cozy up to the Roman government, which of course turned on them. And then they got scattered throughout all of the nations.
All right,
And
come on now. I don't think everybody needs a complete, history lesson here.
it's not complete. I'm actually condensing it down. I'm finna land the plane.
No.
So they don't teach this. They don't teach in biblical history that all Christians and all Jews and all Gentiles that believe on the name of Jesus Christ are actually grafted into Christ, thereby making everybody who is a genuine Christian a chosen people. That it goes for everybody. Remember, Jesus said the Lord's will is the Lord's will is for everybody to be saved. And Jews have this nasty notion that it's just them.
All right.
Yeah.
And wasn't something like 250 evangelical ministers went to Israel?
Like 1,000. It was like 1,000 of them. All expense paid trip to Israel. All expenses paid. And then they came, and it was to train them how to do the propaganda for the Zionists, and they're doing it. So, yeah, I'm super sus, as the kids used to say, super sus of any Christian leader or pastor who wants you to get involved in Zionism, who preaches Zionism or the greatness of the state of Israel. It's just a government. It's just a state. It's got nothing to do with God. Got nothing to do with God. Just a state. It was stolen. It was given to him by the imperialist UK and the Rothschild family. Isn't that weird?
Yep, bought in 1890.
The Rothschilds. Isn't that weird? And the UK gave the land of Israel that they were illegally occupying to a bunch of Zionists, which they didn't have the right to give to. And then the Zionists committed a horrible massacres, a genocide called the Nakba, an ethnic cleansing. And that's by a bunch of terrorist groups founded Israel, and that's how Israel happened. And there they are. And if you read, you see how the Zionist culture, how they think about non-Jews. So they're not just racist against a certain ethnicity; they're racist against everybody who isn't a Jew. They call you goyim, and that is a that's a denigrating term, goyim. So again, I know lots of Jews. I'm friends with lots of Jews. There's something about the Zionist Jews. It's just something about Zionist Christian Zionism. It's the metastasizing cancer of our time.
And all right, Tove, I know you want to say something.
I was just gonna add to what Gamer was saying. It's one of the big reasons why the again, not in the what you hear about in the mainstream history of our religion, but why the old families like mine have vowed to protect the Christian people and stand with them is because of the Christian God's will that everybody deserves to be saved. It's everybody's right to be saved. That was just about all I was going to say on that aspect.
All right. All right, guys. Now let's get into our guy, Dan Bongino. Now, like I said, I'm not really feeling my man too much because of kind of what he did. And like I said, he came in deputy director of the FBI, did all this talking and got no deep state arrests, try to pretty much cover up the Epstein files. And now he's telling us that we're just a bunch of nihilists who don't appreciate anything. Well,
sir, you did nothing for your first year in office. I need you to have several seats.
Exactly. So let's hear him out.
And the right thing involves you paid me to do the right thing. And the right thing involves keeping custody over information. So you're going to be misunderstood about stuff.
Did you hear how he said that, Kurt?
Keeping custody over misinformation or information. And I mean, like, bro, we trusted you to go in there, get custody of the Epstein files and release it to us. We expect you to go in there, do some real investigating and get some of these deep staters arrested. You did none. That's why everybody's on your ass. It's not because we're just a bunch of nihilists who don't care about none of the wins of the administration. It's just that you went in there, you talked big shit. We thought you were going to bring us the Epstein files. You didn't. You try to cover it up and say, oh, there's nothing there. He trafficked to himself. He killed himself. That's what you hit us with without giving us no deep state arrest whatsoever. And we're the bad guy for calling you out. I mean, bro, kiss my ass.
He said, you paid me to keep custody over information. And you know who talks like that? Guys who are in the deep state. That's what that talks. That's
or Dilbert, God rest his soul.
Or Dilbert. That's exactly right. I trust Trump to lie to me. Dan Bongino is back. Now let's remember
you got the jokes.
Yeah, let's remember Dan Bongino famously said this. He was always like, don't ever let this Epstein story go. We're going to stay on this. Don't ever stop. And then he said this.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Wow.
6 million files.
Wow. I believe him because he speaks with the conviction of a man who was there when it happened. So, Dave Smith said, hey, Bongino, now that the files are out, can you share with us the part that proved Epstein killed himself?
Yeah.
You said you saw the files and knew for a fact he killed himself. Surely you weren't lying through your effing teeth.
I mean, that's a really good question. It's like, yo, yeah, so now we got all 3 million of these files out. Maybe you can tell us where in these 3 million files it says that Epstein killed himself, because we've been combing through these files and it's looking like this dude might be freaking alive. He might be out there in Israel with long hair and a beard now. It's like, so please show us, because it's looking like, bro, it looking like Epstein might still be walking among us. That's a problem. So please show us. Maybe it's yet to be released, but please show us where it shows that Epstein killed himself, because you said it with such confidence on Fox News. So please hold that same confidence and show us.
Oh, the supposed Jew, Dave Smith.
My God. Bongino under attack from the Jew, Dave Smith. So here he goes. So he goes on. Dan Bongino gets emotional and lashes out at those critiquing his cover-up of the Epstein PDF files. Let's watch.
Third group of people I want to address are the grifters out there who mistakenly thought I wasn't coming back. Now,
the grifters are anybody who disagrees with him, just so you know. So this term has been so polluted and so overused, it means absolutely nothing anymore, because if there's anyone who isn't he's talking directly to Dave Smith, and he's not a grifter. He's just a guy who has a different opinion. And
Dave's saying what he thinks. I could verify for you, Davis. I used to argue with him all the time because he still is a dedicated libertarian on certain things. Dave's a good guy who, if he thinks something true, he has to say it. He can't lie like a hero like Don Bongino.
Okay, let's keep going.
I am back. The Podfather is back.
The
and I'm
Podfather's
here to take
back.
back this movement. This movement's been hijacked by a small group of dipshits and bums and losers.
And I'm back into my podcast studio to take back the movement. And I'm back doing my pod. That's how I take over. That's just that seems kind of silly.
Podfather's back in town.
Hey, and shout out to my man Sid. He says maybe if we're lucky, Bongino will quit his podcast in less than a year too. I'm goddamn. I'll be real with you, dog. I don't know how. Look, right now his numbers are cool, but that's gonna drop off. People are mainly there to hear his explanation. And once we get his explanation and we figure out, oh, hey, this is complete bullshit, then yeah, he's gonna see them numbers tank. Because I mean, how do you come back from this? You talk tough, you said you were gonna get things done, you walked in there, and now you're walking out with no explanation for us. And then, bro, you remember all the tweets he was leaving, going like, oh, the things I've seen will shake me to the core. I will never be the same. All right, can you please pick up on that, please?
Yeah, he didn't just walk, he ran away from that shit.
Exactly.
So whatever you gotta think, whatever's on that desk, he must have not been prepared for.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dan Bongino coming on here with this performance. I mean, it's funny and sad at the same time.
And all three of those categories, which are all Dave Smith, by the way.
Who are nothing but doomers under the frame of accountability. I'm all about accountability. I just showed you what we did or what we didn't. Did I not? I'm not sitting here going, hey, trust me, bro. I showed you. If you like it, great. If you don't, that is absolutely your constitutional right.
I just saw what you did. You lied to us about Epstein killing himself in jail. So that's what everybody's talking about. I don't know what he showed before, but this is what we're all talking about because that's what you were talking about before you came the deputy director. And then you got in there and you did nothing.
You said, trust me, bro. Both of you, Harold and Kumar, both of you said, trust me, bro.
Yeah.
And he just said it now. I didn't say, trust me, bro. And then right after that, he says, trust me, bro. Yeah. If you believe it, do. If you don't, that's fine.
You paid for it to go and go, that sucked. I would have done something different. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't do anything different. I'm not sure if you volunteered to serve or not, but you didn't. You sat in the front row with your popcorn, ankle biting, throwing this popcorn at the ring at two guys in there sparring away, fighting for this country while you did shit. You just talked about it.
Yeah, because we weren't offered the deputy director job at the FBI when we didn't have, even though we don't have any qualifications either, just like you were a Secret Service guy. I don't know if that qualifies you to be deputy director of the FBI, but I didn't.
I mean, maybe if I was offered the job, maybe we were offered the job. I wouldn't be able to judge him. If I was offered the job as deputy FBI director, you're right. I wouldn't be able to judge you, Bongino. But since I wasn't, and neither was mainly anybody else, yeah, we can kind of put this all on you. Be real with you. We kind of can. And shout out Sid. He said, the things they've seen are definitely wild. That's why Patel constantly looks like a surprised owl, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. That's funny. That's why Cash Patel looks like a surprised owl. Well, he do got the crazy eyes. I'll say that. But it doesn't really seem like, and here's the worst part about it. It doesn't even seem like Cash Patel's really garnering any real respect in the FBI. This is one of the reasons why
wearing his dad's suit.
You see?
You can't take him seriously.
This man ain't got no respect. He has no aura, sadly. He has no aura, guys. So when it comes to Cash Patel, apparently it's like, bro, nobody's really listening to you. Everybody's kind of walking all over. You're not really getting much done. Now, honestly, congrats on, getting the crime rate lower or getting the murder rate down to 100-year low or something like that. That's great. I mean, that's cool. And we appreciate that. But when it comes to the whole, how you were on Stu Peters talking about, there's some deep state guy in there. The Clintons, the Bidens are in there. And you was talking that good shit. And then you get into the role and it's completely sell us out. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, he killed himself. Oh, he was trafficking to nobody but himself. Epstein files come out and we got 40 different redacted names. I mean, please spare us.
I worked security at a concert once. Maybe I could have been deputy director. I don't know.
Do his job too for him? What is he talking? You didn't do my job for me. What are you saying anything for?
Why didn't you guys do the job I was supposed to do while I wasn't doing it when I was the what? So again, he's just.
You tell your closet Indian boss that you feel uncomfortable and pretending that his beard is.
Okay, here we go.
You didn't do anything. Now, I'm back on the air. I'm not going to take on every single thing in one day in one show. But I'm telling you right now, your bullshit, I'm done with it. The grifter bums, all you guys are a class of doomers. Everything sucks all the time. You would have done it different. You didn't do shit. You did nothing.
And now you're back to your, also you did nothing. And now you're back to your podcast where you're going to continue to do more nothing.
I don't mean to be a doomer, Jimmy, but I feel like rampant institutional child sexual abuse is a real bummer.
Yes.
I feel like it sucks every time, and there's no good reason to allow child trafficking. As a doomer that I am,
you're such a doomer. Everything sucks with you.
Try to blackbill you, but child trafficking isn't good, Jimmy.
You didn't volunteer. You didn't ask. You didn't give up your show to do. You did nothing.
You didn't volunteer to come look through the 3 million Epstein files that we were going through. Why didn't you volunteer to do that? What is he talking about? What's that, Kurt?
I actively asked for his job, and they didn't give it to me.
I asked. Kurt asked for that job.
Please make me deputy director.
We all volunteered. We all volunteered. I volunteered. We all volunteered to look through the Epstein files. Kurt volunteered to be deputy director. I volunteered to be director.
You tell me, name a time and place. I'll be director. You name the time and place.
Yes.
Look at Bannon laughing at you.
You did was bullshit people and say nothing's happening. And then when we tell you, oh, it just happened, you move on to something else you say is not going to happen. And then when that happens, you move on to something else. You want to critique it, say you would have done better.
Now, I mean, hold on now. Okay, I kind of get what he's talking about. But if he's talking about the Epstein list, when you guys gave us that BS folder and you told us, oh, it's released. I mean, yeah, that's what we're talking about, because that obviously wasn't all it, but you trying to convince us to say that, oh, well, we gave you guys in those boulders that everybody already knew was it. Epstein Transparency Act came out. Even though we had to fight tooth and nail for it, it finally came out. Trump signed it. And now you guys are looking stupid. I'm be real with you. Like, a lot of people who are sitting there saying that, oh, these binder is the end all be all. Well, now all y'all look dumb. You look like liars. To be honest with you. And you know what? I know Castro said, and he said, you know, maybe we should give them some grace. Maybe they wasn't privy to the knowledge. Maybe they're just now seeing this as well. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Then why did they go out there on a limb and just say, oh, well, all of this is true, even though we don't have all the files to back it up? That's what kind of like, you know, that's where they lost my trust at. That's where they lost me.
Step up. Step up.
I would have done better.
Yeah.
I would have done better.
I'm the director of the FBI right now, and just blathering on here, I'll do better than you, Dan.
Hey, look, acting like the number 3 in a Steven Seagal action film isn't enough to intimidate the audience anymore.
Do some katas maybe with your karate expertise.
Well, we're going to show that. It's coming.
Oh, thank God.
Go ahead.
Fair.
They got openings. You go try it.
They got openings. Really?
Bro, really?
So I could just go be the deputy director of the FBI. Go ahead.
I signed up for the ICE app. I'm going to be the head of ICE probably tomorrow.
Yeah, we're all.
Is that easy?
We're all volunteering for every position. I volunteered to be vice president. I volunteered to be attorney general. I'm volunteering for all. They're not taking it.
Yo, you should wear a mask like ICE, Dan Bongino. The president should wear an ICE mask. Yeah. They should all wear masks.
They should all wear masks now. And yeah, but they're not hiring people like us. They're hiring people who they know they can control and who will go along and cover up the Epstein stuff like you did. That's why. Okay.
Hey, Donkey Kong, stop throwing barrels at me. I didn't lie.
Just like I don't get. That's like Rachel Maddow saying, "Why don't you come on MSNBC and do a better job?" Because I'm not invited.
You're gonna not want me to.
I volunteered a ton to go on MSNBC. The only person who would bring me on, CNN stopped bringing me on. MSNBC stopped bringing me on, just like they stopped bringing on Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi during Rush. They stopped bringing me on. They said, you know who did? Tucker Carlson. I went on there. So that's the thing. I volunteered.
And I'm in the Epstein files, and I can't get on MSNBC.
That's
How's
right.
that work?
You're dealing with.
So here he keeps going. Here's one more.
Second, you're going to be disliked. There is no level 10 decision you're going to make that is going to make everybody happy. It's not going to happen.
I'm be real with you. Like, we kind of set the bar low. Just going there. You was talking crazy about the Epstein files. We all knew something was funny. We all knew it would be this. So yeah, I'm be real with you. We can look at you kind of crazy for going in there and not getting that done. And I mean, here's the thing. If you didn't get that done, at least get some deep state arrest. I mean, you could at least got Comey, but that slipped away from you. Letitia James, that slipped away from you. I mean, let's be real, bro. I mean, you could blame that on Pam Bondi if you want to, but y'all still effed up. You didn't really get too much done. That's just the reality of it.
How about you just make a decision that makes the voters happy and not the psychopathic Zionist oligarchs happy? Could you do that? How about you do that? How about stop making fake promises? How about that? Okay.
Is that a level 11?
Hang on. We didn't get to it yet. Hold on.
Period. There is no way. You saw it with all the stuff, the Epstein case, the other things we had to deal with. There is no decision you're going to make that is going to make everybody happy. And you have to deal with it. If you're there to be liked, you're in the wrong job.
And that's why I left. I was in that job for less than a year and I left.
Yeah.
That's why. That's because he's basically telling on himself again. He's telling you why you shouldn't listen to him.
Not since Jordan Peterson put on a 2 different colored suit and went on Joe Rogan have I seen cognitive dissonance on display to this degree.
Get out right away. Third.
So hang on. Let me play that again.
Happy. And you have to deal with it. If you're there to be liked, you're in the wrong job. Get out right away.
And that's what he did. He got out right away because he knew he was trashing his reputation and he had to get out because he wasn't really doing what he said he would do. And now he's back in his podcast studio, which is fine. But by the way, I used to like Dan Bongino. I used to
know
like.
You did. I have never trusted him because he wore a Constitution shirt, and I'm like, you laid it on
I like it. I used to like watching his show. I like that he was in on the Epstein stuff. I liked it. It's whatever. He debunked
extra.
He didn't go along with Russiagate, Ukraine war, all that stuff. But then he got power.
Bro barely investigated election fraud. I mean, they're just now investigating. He didn't even get to that. And he was one of the main proponents. Oh, you know what was stolen. What about the whole January 6th stuff and proving that there are feds on that? I mean, did you do that at least and arrest people for that? No, not that either. You didn't do a damn thing you stood on during your podcast. Didn't do a damn thing that you stood on. That is what's killing me about this guy right now.
And he just turned. And so this is him turning and him saying, if you want to be liked, it's not for you. Get out right away. That's what you did.
You mean liked by voters or the oligarchs who you want to be liked by more than the voters? And that's why you're a punk.
Third, and this is probably the most important takeaway.
Don't go that far.
You're going to be misunderstood. You're going to have a bunch of 18-year-old, Washington Post writers with no experience in the real world at all, commenting on your decisions you made with no background whatsoever as to why you made them. I get it. I mean, it's understandable. They're not read in on these programs, but I'll address this with President Trump later, how he's making decisions on Greenland and the Don Roe Doctrine based on a president's daily brief he gets every day that these media people have no idea. They don't even know what the freaking threats are. Like, oh, that's a crazy decision. How do you know? I don't know. I guessed. I read it in a Charlie Brown encyclopedia with them. You don't know shit. You don't know anything. Just be honest that you don't know. You can have an opinion on it. I'm not telling you media people. I'm not telling you media people not to have an opinion. Have an opinion, great. It's a constitutional republic. But just be honest that you don't know shit. And he does. He's read in on all this stuff. So you're going to be misunderstood because there are things even now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to talk about.
So let me just.
I'm sorry, but bro, what is there to know? It's like, look, you told us that there was election fraud and you didn't investigate it. I mean, you was the one telling us that you knew shit. That's the problem. Now you coming out telling us, oh, you don't know shit. Nigga, that's what we sent you in there for. Did you forget? Yes, we know we don't know shit. That's what we sent you there for. So you can know something. But apparently you missed that.
Stop it for a second and say, so what he's basically telling you is that the only people who can speak with authority on any news item to deal with the government is people who are currently in that government. So now why should anybody watch your podcast? Because now you're not in government anymore. And what do you know? You're just a dipshit like somebody working at the Washington Post or the New York Times or CNN. And what do you know about? So you're describing yourself now. So
Dan,
you were that.
I feel misunderstood.
Dan, you were that.
I feel misunderstood.
Dan, you were that guy before you took the deputy director job. You were the guy you're describing right now. You're saying it's just a Washington Post 18-year-old, but no, that was you because you were not in government. And now you're out of government, and now you're describing yourself again. So again, this is the least, you talk about lack of self, what is it?
Awareness?
Awareness.
I feel misunderstood because, Dan, I'm telling you, I don't know shit. I'm actually, that's what we're all angry about.
Right.
We're all angry that we don't get to be briefed in after they child trafficked all American kids to benefit Israel, the place that you wake up every morning, in your words, the first thing on your mind. What are you passionate about? Protecting Israel. I guess they're all mad because they thought you'd be passionate about justice for, Americans because you're in the fucking FBI. Like, am I misunderstood here?
Question.
There are ongoing cases.
Go ahead.
Two questions. One is, what is with the I guess it's a hat? Is he trying to look like a bull?
I mean, I guess so. The hat is a bit crazy, but I mean, hey, it makes you look at him. I'll tell you that.
Oh, that is true. And second question is, what happened to Gamer?
Oh, damn, that is a very good question. What did happen to my man? Well, they got him.
FBI, open up! He's like really good at this disappearing act.
I know, but don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll pop up again in no time.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
And other things, and you guys didn't pay me, the taxpayer, to go in there and come out here and try to be some superhero. You paid me to do the right thing, and the right thing involves keeping custody over information. So you're going to be misunderstood about stuff.
Did you hear how he said that, Kurt? He said, you paid me to keep custody over information. And you know who talks like that? Guys who are in the deep state. That's what that talks. That's
or
deep,
Dilbert, God rest his soul.
Or Dilbert. That's exactly right. I trust Trump to lie to me. I have to. Yeah. I trust that the CIA. I know that they're lying to protect me, so I have to trust Trump that when he's lying it for my own benefit. That's what this sounds like. Custody.
Yeah, I'm your girl. I'm Dan Bongino's girlfriend. He's cheating on, and he's going to gaslight me like I'm some dingbat. That's what that talk is. He gets all passionate, and he trails off at the end with the bad part.
Yeah.
That's the custody of information. I think you should lose custody, dipshit. What do you think of that, Don Bain?
And yo, Sid, what's going on?
Yo, what's up? How's your night?
Going pretty good, man. Shoot. Wait, were you watching the Super Bowl?
I did watch it. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I did, but I halfway watched. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of seen the Seahawks taking the dub halfway through. I was like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big football fan, but when I was a kid, the Seahawks were my team, just living on the West, so.
Makes sense. Well, congratulations for you.
Thanks, man.
Well, bro, what's your thoughts on this so far, though, with the whole Dan Bongino and all that?
I think Dan Bongino's pathetic, man. I've always thought he was pathetic, though, but especially after his foray in the FBI. Like, how do you talk all that shit on your podcast, and then you get a job in the FBI, and you're just whining about how everything you said you either can't prove or are unwilling to prove?
And you'll talk about, bro, remember the burn bag and all this crazy stuff they talk about, but we never hear anything else on?
Yeah. Same thing with Kash Patel when he was on, I don't know, was it Steve Bannon's show? And they were like, or Benny Johnson's show. And he's like, who has the Epstein files? This is when Biden was in office. And Kash said Chris Wray, the director of the FBI. He has them all. He has access to all of them. Now he's the director of the FBI, and it took Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna getting this thing through Congress, getting Trump to sign it for half of them to come out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. Exactly. That's why I said when it comes to the Epstein files, I'm like, bro, y'all didn't do anything. To be quite honest with you, like it was Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna that got the Transparency Act passed. So, like, y'all were trying to tell us that, don't believe your lying eyes. He killed himself, and there's nothing to see here. He was trafficking to himself. Like, let's not forget that.
Yeah. Are you excited for the Clintons to testify this week? It's not this week. It's coming up, though.
All right, you're right. But live, though, right? Because I think they said they wanted it live, but I'm not sure if Congress has approved it.
Well, Bill Clinton was popping off on X saying like, "I want to do this shit live," but James Comer is saying that we have to do it behind closed doors with cameras, and I don't know why they wouldn't want him to do it live. It reminds me of like when Biden was still in office and they had subpoenaed Hunter. Do you remember this? And
Yeah.
Hunter's like, "Yeah, I'll come in, but only if it's live." And then they said, "No, it's not going to be live." So he said he wasn't going to come in. And then when they tried to hold him in contempt, he came and sat front row.
Yep. Yeah. I
He's like,
remember
"Bro, I'm right here, dude. Like, we could do this right now." But
yeah, and that's the thing though. I would rather them do it live, but I don't know. We'll see. Yo, Castro, what's going on?
Hey, what's good?
Oh, it's all good, bro. What's your thoughts so far?
You know, I followed Dan for a long time, and this is kind of weird for him. You know, something's not adding up because he doesn't seem like he's being in depth in the files because things are, you know, really not prevalent to him, man. I mean, there's no way he would just deny all this information straight out, knowing that it's going public. I mean, that's just out of character for him. And I followed him for 6 years now.
Yeah, and here's the thing though. It's like, look, so you're right. He went out on a limb, said all this stuff. Now he would have to explain himself. He needs to, bro. Just tell us. Did you know about these 3 million files? If you could be honest with us and tell you, yo, I didn't know about that. That's why I made those statements on Fox. Then all right, we'll be willing to forgive that. But
yeah, I think
sitting on your podcast telling us how we're all like nihilists, ain't it?
well, you can already see. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you watch the whole, I mean, I watched every one of his podcasts. So he's not exactly talking. They're taking a lot of these things out of context. He's not talking about every single person, or every single podcaster that's like calling for the files or anything like that. He's talking about these black pillars and stuff like that. You know, he's really not. It's not like what they make it seem. They're just picking hot.
I get what he's saying because he's not just talking about people who are, worried about the Epstein files. He's talking about like people who are like, downplaying the immigration numbers, downplaying the economy. I get when you say by that.
But he's talking about Democrats.
Yeah, the Democrats, and of course there is people on the right that, I'll be real with you, they'll say, "Oh, well, Donald Trump hasn't deported enough. Oh, Donald Trump needs to do better on affordability," which are, that's a valid argument. But I mean, you're not even going to give the man immigration. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. And like I said, and then they're taking this and they're making, hot takes off of it. And it's really a misrepresentation of what he's been saying. And like I said, that's out of character for Dan. And it just seems like he doesn't have all the information from what I'm seeing, because as I'm going through the files, I can see that if he went through this information, there's no way he would deny any of this, because he knows that he would know that it's going to be public because Trump signed off on it. So there's no way he would try to backtrack and hide all this stuff. That's just not him.
Okay. Is there a possibility he thought it wouldn't come out because when he was saying all that stuff, that was before the Epstein Transparency Act law was ever signed?
He knew it was coming out because he knew that Trump was going to sign off on it because Trump wasn't going to be in the files. He was always adamant that Trump
it was like up until the very last day that Trump was kind of poo-pooing these files, and when he knew that it was going to pass Congress because no congressperson wants to put their name, well, I guess one did, but wants to say, no, don't release these files. He did it because he has to, and now we even see them fighting in court the releasing of all the files that they were mandated to by law, which I do think was purposeful by Massey in the way they drafted it to get more attention. But regardless, how do you sign a law and then fight that law that you signed in court? Like, to say that Trump has just been full bore release the files the whole time is just not true, especially because he didn't need an act of Congress to release them. He could have done it without it.
No one was saying that. What you're seeing here is a misrepresentation of what's going on here. You have to slow roll some of these things due to case files. You cannot release credible information on those case files. So you have to be very, very careful when you're bringing out all this information to not destroy your case while that happens. So that's why you're seeing some of it being slow rolled, and then other people are taking that and saying, "Aha, you're screwing over the whole entire system. You should have let everything go all at once. Look at how dirty you are." And so you're having Democrats that are doing that, and then you're having Republicans who are getting bits and pieces of the information correct and bits and pieces of it wrong. And see, everybody wants to see it come out. Everybody wants to see these people burn, but we have different levels of understanding of what's going on. And I don't think no one's wrong for wanting to see the files come out, but it just doesn't make sense.
I don't know if that's entirely true with some of the stuff that was redacted. Doesn't seem like the things that were allowed to be redacted per that law. Just random things like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was someone misspelled the word "don't," and they left out the T, and it was "dawn," and that was redacted. And we haven't seen a lot of the internal communications between the FBI or people investigating it. That hasn't come out. We haven't really seen much of the money transfers. Those haven't come out. We've seen some crazy emails where people are sending pictures saying like age 10, age 11, and we're not seeing the names of the people sending these things. I mean, we can say it's all people involved in an active case, and that's something that's yet to be seen. I'm highly skeptical of that. But tomorrow, members of Congress, including Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna, are being afforded the right to go and view these files. Hopefully they get all of them, right?
Unredacted.
Yeah, unredacted. And if they come out and say, like, if they come out and say, oh, the DOJ actually is acting in good faith and tried their best, and we think the redactions are worthwhile and important, then maybe I'll change my tune on this. But if they come out saying the opposite of that, Castro, what do you think?
I'm going to hold my opinion until I understand and get a full grasp of what's going on. There's just so much information to consume. I would be doing myself a disservice if I formed an opinion in the first couple of weeks. It's going to take me about a month to really dig down and form a good understanding of what's going on, because your first gut reaction is going to be the wrong impulse. It's just
That's
the way
fair.
it is.
No one here is going to judge you if you say something now and it turns out to be wrong. No. I mean, what is your first gut instinct, actually? Like that? What are you thinking?
My gut instinct is that someone in the FBI or in the levels of government is running cover, and they're giving people partial information. And it seems like different people have different levels of information, and none of them have all the information. And we've seen this happen in the past because Trump's been in news meetings, and you would think that he would know something that was going on in Israel and the attacks, and then a reporter brings it up and he doesn't really understand what happened. How is he not being told all this information? There's something going on here, and they have to snake out where this barrier to communication is happening. Like I said, and it seems like the same thing's happening with Dan. I'm not so sure about Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. I'm not very happy with them at all. I would probably be just fine for both of them to be fired and to get somebody else in there, somebody fresh, so that we can all reset and have a better opinion of the people that are there, because the way they've handled it so far has been terrible. But like I said, this is way out of character for Dan, and I had heard that they have been limiting his information and his ability to access the Epstein case files, and they were just putting him on other busy work to use his name and his following to kind of sway the public opinion, and that's kind of backfired on him. And I think he's going to find out in the next few weeks that a lot of this information coming out he didn't know about, so he's going to have egg on his face too. But I don't think Dan is going to throw mud. He's not going to sling mud. He might say something, but he still understands that he agrees with the administration, and he thinks that this is the best option going forward. So he's going to eat it and he's going to try to, find out what's going on. I've seen him working a lot, better going forward to uncover a lot of this stuff because it doesn't seem like he knows the full picture right now.
I don't know. My
Well,
personal. Go ahead.
Yeah, go. No, you go ahead.
All right, shoot. Well, in my personal opinion, what my gut feeling is telling me at this point is that, I mean, look, Congress gets to go in there and look at it. Depending on how these guys come out, we're gonna know everything we need to know. They're either gonna come out. I don't know if they're able to say names, but they're gonna know. They're gonna be able to see these redacted names. They're gonna be able to see these names unredacted. They'll be able to take notes. They'll be able to go home, look these people up, and they'll be able to talk about this. So, or maybe they might get the hush hush on the way out and they'll tell us. But if they go in there and hit us with the, oh, there's nothing to see here, then I mean, at least we know where our government stands.
Yeah, you got to remember, there's a lot of high profile names in this place, and some dangerous people and dangerous money in this case, and they're paying a lot of people to do some things. I guarantee you on the back end, and they might even be blackmailing them. You never know what's going on.
A lot of current government contractors too, like Peter Thiel and. Say what?
So no, I was just gonna say I don't know if anyone touched on this, and I kind of got sidetracked with a conversation in the house. But did anyone think about the possibility of how? And this isn't excusing anyone, but the possibility of how many of the I don't know if you're still on the Epstein, but the perpetrators were groomed into were originally victims and were groomed into becoming perpetrators with blackmail on them.
Oh no, we know
that is a
that's
possibility.
Exactly what's happening. No, I mean, no, that's exactly what's happening, but that's like not everybody. There's some people that
I'm
were
not saying
groomed into
that's
this. Like
It's not everybody, and you could also even say that argument for someone like Ghislaine. Like she could say, "Oh, I was a woman that was less powerful, less influential than him, and we became partners, and he kind of groomed me into doing his bidding for him and recruiting these girls for him." And
but family ties
so
like hers.
it is possible to be a victim. It is possible to be a victim and a perpetrator. So
So here's my pushback on that one. There's also her dad was well, let's just yeah.